98. What if L suspects that an employee may react violently to being terminated?
Despite your best efforts to treat employees with dignity and respect at the termination meeting, some employees, albeit a statistical minority, may react physically to being terminated. We all hear about cases of employees pulling out weapons at termination meetings or returning to work the following Monday morning to exact revenge on their supervisors and coworkers. Bearing that in mind, let us address some tips for avoiding violence during or after dismissal, a common triggering event of workplace violence. Conduct termination meetings as early in the day and as early in the week as possible. Physically seat yourself between the employee and the door. In other words, you should have access to the door and not be blocked by the employee should an emergency exit become necessary. When necessary, employ the services of a security firm to attend the termination meeting in plain clothes, to wait outside your office door, or at least to be standing by a phone in the lobby. Tell me more. Many companies terminate employees as late in the day on Friday afternoons as possible. This is a mistake. The traditional logic was simply this: the dismissal should occur as late in the day as possible so that coworkers were not impacted. Friday afternoons made sense so that a clean break could be made with the workplace and, more important, so that the whole matter could be swept under the rug by keeping it out of sight. Unfortunately, many workplace violence incidents occur on Monday mornings because distressed, terminated employees have no one to talk or appeal to. They spend the weekend brooding over the wrong that was done to them and, in a void of communication, determined to wreak havoc on the perceived wrongdoers. Dismissal meetings that occur early in the day and early in the week, on the other hand, allow employees the opportunity to question what went wrong. They can discuss their perceptions of what led up to the termination and have their questions answered regarding unemployment insurance, reference checks, and company records. Seating arrangements are important in termination meetings. If an employee is armed and standing between you and the door, you'll have no way out. Whenever possible, seat the employee away from the door at the far end of the room. This should allow you a means of quick escape should that become necessary. Finally, if you reasonably suspect that the employee may react violently, it will be a good investment on your part to invite armed security to your meeting. For example, a mortgage banking firm planned to terminate an employee on a Tuesday. When that employee appeared at work that day, he was wearing a full-length black leather coat and dark sunglasses, and he carried a gym bag that appeared heavy. The employer reasoned that this was cause for concern, since it was a hot summer day, and this employee never came to work dressed like that before. The company called a security firm and arranged to have an armed officer attend the termination meeting. The officer kept a revolver in his briefcase on the desk. He was introduced to the employee as a member of the Human Resources Department visiting from the Home Office. The meeting went without incident. The cost to the company for the armed security officer's presence was $140, $35 an hour at a 4-hour minimum charge. That's a very reasonable fee for such important work.